Julia's here in the yard and collecting carrots. Now that I collected the sample, I'm going to draw the sample up in a syringe. So I have 3 cc's of urine here. So I'm going to examine the color. It's straw-like in a good way to kind of put it against something that's white. So it's straw-like color. It's clear because I can put something underneath it and read through it. So I would say that it's clear. Volume is the 3 mLs, and he was dribbling afterwards. I don't see any foam in here, and it doesn't smell overly, it doesn't have like a fishy smell, it doesn't have a very strong odor to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at it on the refractometer to get the specific gravity. And then I'm going to place the remaining sample in a red top. 2. So I just put a drop on the refractometer. And the specific gravity is 1030. So I'm going to rinse this with distilled water. And clean it. And I'm going to record the specific gravity in the patient's chart. So it's 1030. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a dipstick. So we have the sticks here. I would do them on here. I'm going to place the stick here, and we wait 1 minute for these. So I just put a drop, if you can see. I just put a drop on each one of these. So one here, here. And I set the timer for 1 minute, so I'm looking at the clock right there. And I put the remaining sample in here. So you'll look on here, and it has, so it says 60 seconds, and it tells you the exactly how long to do the dipstick for, and then it also has the units here that you can use to help record. So it's been 3 more seconds. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the pH. So
yeah, so we'll get that. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
The pH looks like it's going to be 6.3, so I'm going to write that here.
Thank
Then the glucose is next, and it's in grams per deciliter. So I'm gonna say negative in grams per. Protein is next. So find the protein, and there's a trace amount of protein. And then bilirubin. So a small amount of bilirubin. Ketones are next. So negative ketones. And then ocular blood is going to be like that. It's going to be negative. So once I do this, I've done the dipstick, I record that in the chart, and then I start to make slides. So next thing I'm going to do with the urine is make a stain. So I have my little urinalysis pipette. So I'm going to pour a sample in here. So now that it's poured in here, I've actually poured 2 of them to balance. So I'm going to spin it down. So I'm going to go over here and spin it down in the centrifuge. I'm going to select urine sediment and then spin. So while that's spinning, we can go over here, and then these are the different types of crystal that you see. So you have everything from struvites to oscillites to the different types of casts here. So most of crystals depend on if the urine is acidic or basic. So if you have struvites, that means your urine is basic. So you'll see these different types here. You'll also see hyaline casts too, which are down here. Where are they? Up here. So there's different types. Like here is sodium urate crystals, and your struvite crystals are down here. The magnesium ammonia crystals are here. So based on the types of crystals that you see, you will determine what kind of treatment. Sometimes treatment is a different type of food. Sometimes treatment are urine acidifiers and things like that. And so you'll look through all these to look for any one of these here as you examine your slide. Okay. Now that my urine is done spinning, I'm going to first look at it to make sure that there's sediment. So you can see right here at the bottom that there is some sediment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully, while keeping it upright, decant the urine off to leave just the sediment. So we'll go over here where the sink is, and very carefully, without disturbing the sediment, and just take pieces out at a time. So I'm going to leave this right here. Then I'm going to take urine stain here. So it's urine sediment stain. And I'm going to place 1 drop in here. So just 1 drop. So I have the 1 drop in here. And I'm going to take another pipette, and I'm just going to kind of mix the sample. I'm going to kind of wish this around so that it mixes with the sediment. So now that it's mixed in with the sediment, I'm going to place it on a slide. So I have my slide back here. I'm going to place 1 drop on the slide. Let's get a different one because that didn't go in the middle. So one drop in the middle of the slide, like that. I'm going to discard this. Then I'm going to get a cover slip and place it on top. And now I'm going to look in the microscope and examine the slide. So I start off at a lower power just so I can kind of focus it in. There we go. Then I'll go to a higher power and focus. So you're going to look for crystals, cells, blood, bacteria, CAS, so I see a couple of epithelial cells in here so far. I don't see any red blood cells. I don't see any bacteria that are rod-shaped or cocci. Ooh, I see a crystal. So I actually do see a struvite crystal, so it looks just like this right here. It's kind of rectangle like that. So I see that one right there. So I would write that down. So what I will do is I will scan the rest of the slide like this in a pattern, and then I will record it in the patient's chart.